Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org. This is War, Peace, and the Presidency. I'm Amy Goodman.
In an hour, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton will take the stage at Washington University in St. Louis for their second of 3 debates before next month's election. The debate is occurring 2 days after the Washington Post uncovered a shocking video from 2005 of Trump talking on an open microphone about groping women. In the tape, he's heard saying, quote, "When you are a star, you can do anything. Grab them by the pussy, you can do anything." Beginning at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll bring you the Trump-Clinton debate and expand the debate by giving Green Party presidential candidate Dr. Jill Stein a chance to respond to the same questions posed to the major party candidates. Stein and Libertarian presidential candidate Gary Johnson were excluded from the debate under stringent rules set by the Commission on Presidential Debates, which is controlled by the Democratic and Republican parties. We invited both Stein and Johnson to join us on the program. Only Stein took us up on the offer.
But first, Nermeen Sheikh and I will host a roundtable discussion looking at the state of the race as scores of Congress members, senators, and Republican leaders are now calling for Trump to step down. But before we introduce our guests, we're going to play the full, unedited 2005 tape of Donald Trump that's shaken up the presidential race. This video is unaired footage from NBC's Access Hollywood of Trump and TV host Billy Bush speaking on a bus before Trump appeared on the soap opera Days of Our Lives. It was released on Friday night. All the networks have been airing it. A warning to our audience: this video is vulgar and it contains very disturbing language.
She's still very beautiful.
I moved on her, actually. You know, she was down in Palm Beach. I moved on her, and I failed. I'll admit it.
Whoa.
I did try and she was married.
It's huge news there.
No, Nancy. Yeah. No, this was marriages. And I moved on her very heavily. In fact, I took her out furniture shopping. She wanted to get some furniture. I said, I'll show you where they have some nice furniture. I took her out furniture. I moved on her like a bitch. But I couldn't get there, and she was married. And all of a sudden, I see her. She's now got the big phony tits and everything. She's totally changed her look.
She's your girl's hot in the purple.
Whoa!
Yes!
Whoa!
Yes, the Donald has scored!
Whoa!
Oh, my man! Wait, you gotta look at me when you get out. You're like,
sets this up.
That is very.
Will you give me the thumbs
Look
up?
at you. You are a piece.
You gotta put the thumbs up. You gotta get the thumbs up.
Can't be too happy. Else off first? Yeah, let me.
It's very
You
funny.
gotta give me the thumbs up.
You and I will walk down.
Oh, my God.
Maybe it's a different one.
Better not be the publicist. No, it's her.
Yeah, that's her, with the gold. I better use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just, I don't even wait. And when you let you do it, you can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy. You can do anything.
Look at those legs. All I can see is the legs.
No, it looks good.
Come on, shorty.
Oh, nice legs, huh?
Oof, get out of the way, honey. Oh, that's good legs. Go ahead.
It's always good if you don't fall out of the bus. Like Ford, Gerald Ford, remember?
Down below. Pull the hand.
Hello, how are you? Hi.
Mr. Trump, how
nice
are
seeing you. Terrific.
Pleasure to meet you.
Terrific. You know Billy Bush?
How are you?
Nice to see you. How you doing,
Very
Ariane?
good.
I'm doing very well, thank you. Are you ready to be a soap star?
We're ready. Let's go. Make me a soap star.
How about a little hug for the Donald? He just got off the
Would
bus.
you like a little
Okay,
hug, darling?
absolutely.
A
Melania
little
said
hug for
this
the
was
bushy.
okay.
I just got off the bus.
Oh, bushy, bushy.
There we go. Excellent. Well,
Come
you've
on.
got a nice co-star here.
Good.
Yes, absolutely.
After you. Come on, Billy. Don't be shy.
As soon as a beautiful woman shows up, he takes
Get over
off
here,
on
Billy.
He's always happy.
I'm sorry, come here.
Let the little guy in there. Come
Yeah,
on.
let the little guy in. How you feel now, better? I should actually
It's
be in
hard
the
to
middle.
walk next to a guy
Here,
like
wait,
this.
hold on.
Yeah, you get in the middle. There we go.
Good. That's
This
better.
is much better. This is...
That's better.
Now, if you had to choose, honestly, between one of us, me or the Donald, who
I
would
don't
it
know.
be?
That's
That's
tough
some pressure right
competition.
there.
Yeah.
Seriously, when you had to take one of us as a date.
I have to take the fifth on that one.
Really?
Yep, I'll take both.
Really?
Which way?
Make it right. Here we go. Goodbye. Right of the days.
Here he goes. I'm going to leave you here.
Okay.
Get my microphone.
Okay. You gonna? Oh, you're finished?
That was the 2005 video of Donald Trump that has shaken up the presidential election. In his first response to the video, Trump said, quote, "Bill Clinton has said far worse to me on the golf course, not even close. I apologize if anyone was offended." Trump later recorded a video apology.
I've never said I'm a perfect person, nor pretended to be someone that I'm not. I've said and done things I regret, and the words released today on this more than a decade-old video are one of them. Anyone who knows me knows these words don't reflect who I am. I said it, I was wrong, and I apologize. I've traveled the country talking about change for America, but my travels have also changed me. I've spent time with grieving mothers who've lost their children, laid off workers whose jobs have gone to other countries, and people from all walks of life who want a better future. I have gotten to pledge to be a better man tomorrow and will never, ever let you down. Let's be honest, we're living in the real world. This is nothing more than a distraction from the important issues we're facing today. We are losing our jobs, we're less safe than we were 8 years ago, and Washington is totally broken. Hillary Clinton and her kind have run our country into the ground. I've said some foolish things, but there's a big difference between the words and actions of other people. Bill Clinton has actually abused women, and Hillary has bullied, attacked, shamed, and intimidated his victims. We will discuss this more in the coming days. See you at the debate on Sunday.
That was the video that Trump released late on Friday night. Trump is now facing a of calls to step down as the Republican Party's nominee. 15 Republican senators, including former Republican presidential nominee John McCain, are now openly opposing Trump's candidacy. The highest-ranking Republican woman in Congress condemned Trump's comments. Congresswoman Kathy McMorris Rogers of Washington State said, quote, "It is never appropriate to condone unwanted sexual advances or violence against women. Mr. Trump must realize that it has no place in public or private conversations." Donald Trump has rejected calls to step down.
Donald Trump's running mate, Mike Pence, said, quote, "As a husband and a father, I was offended by the words and actions described by Donald Trump in the 11-year-old video released yesterday. I do not condone his remarks and cannot defend them. I am grateful that he has expressed remorse and apologized to the American people. We pray for his family and look forward to the opportunity he has to show what is in his heart when he goes before the nation tomorrow night," unquote. More attention is also being paid to other reports of Trump's mistreatment of women. New York Times columnist Nicholas Kristof has written a piece titled "Donald Trump, Groper-in-Chief." It details the claims of a Florida business associate of Trump who sued him for sexual harassment after he groped her at a business dinner and later attempted to sexually assault her in the empty bedroom of his daughter Ivanka in Florida. To talk more about the Trump tape and its significance, we're joined by a number of people. We start with Soraya Chemaly, who is joining us from Washington, D.C. She is a writer and journalist who covers the intersection of gender and politics. Soraya, welcome back to Democracy Now! Share your response to this tape and what is happening online right now and what you feel is the significance of it.
I think that the significant aspect of this tape is the outrage that it's generated in the Republican Party, which I think is largely being miscategorized. There's nothing in particular revealing about this videotape. It says more about why people are responding the way they are, but a specific set of people, right? What we're really talking about are the people who are in charge of the Republican Party. And their response at this point, it seems to me, is a fairly viscerally selfish one. They're worried about Senate and House seats that might be lost. And I also think they're worried about what the exposure of that private conversation says about their generally paternalistic approach to thinking and talking and legislating women's lives.
Can you respond to the language that Donald Trump used, what exactly he said he was doing, the issue of, well, what people are calling, and this includes a number of Republicans, sexual assault and being a sexual predator.
So he describes women as bits and pieces, legs, arms, tits. He talks about grabbing them without their consent. He very, very easily and casually displays the kind of extremely toxic male sexual entitlement that women have to navigate all day, every day, that we start navigating when we're children. And he does all of this, and then he walks out of this bus with Billy Bush, and they make a quiet mockery of the woman that they're greeting. And I think that entire package together says a great deal about this useful division that we have in our society between what is public and what is private. It has, for a very, very long time, protected conversations like those. And we're supposed to go along with the idea that these are unrelated, that the way a man like Trump behaves in private should be kept secret or should be thought of as not publicly relevant, when very clearly it's critically important to understand. The thing about what Trump did, though, is he used grossly dehumanizing language, which didn't break the mold of any history of Republican legislators talking about women's bodies. I mean, they may not sexualize them and use the kind of vulgar language that he did, but when debates happen about immigration or about women's reproductive rights, we often, as we did 2 weeks ago in a debate about the Hyde Amendment, hear women being compared to dogs or mules or pigs or farm animals. And that, too, is a dehumanization. So it's not that distant from what Trump did. Secondly, he's really fundamentally talking about disregarding women, their desires, their needs, their expressed preferences, and their consent. And those kind of ideas drive a lot of the Republican agenda when it comes to talking about social policies and political policies that profoundly shape women's lives without their participation.
Well, I'd like to bring in Kimberly Crenshaw, professor of law at UCLA and at Columbia University. She's the founder of the African American Policy Forum and a V-Day board member. Welcome to Democracy Now!, Kimberly. Can you talk about what you think the impact will be of these tapes on tonight's debate, and in particular, the speculation that Trump is expected to bring up Hillary's alleged role in discrediting women who accused her husband, Bill Clinton, of sexual abuse?
Yeah, well, this is unprecedented in American politics. The closest thing that I can ever remember to this was the War of the Sexes that happened in the 70s when Bobby Riggs goaded Billie Jean King into a tennis match, right, to challenge women, whether they had the right to be considered equal. But that pales in comparison because that was basically just for bragging rights. This is for the job of being the leader of the so-called free world. So at the center of this debate is the predation of one of the candidates, the long history. This is not new, as everybody has pointed out, of a presidential candidate who has shown nothing but disdain for not just women, but for the general parameters of legitimate public discourse. I mean, to be presidential debate and to call out another woman like Rosie O'Donnell as being a loser, to go on to talk about other candidates being unattractive, to be presidential, she has to appear congenial, she has to be calm under pressure. Now, these are not things that are unusual for any woman to deal with. We see many examples of women having to deal with sexist bosses, philandering husbands, wailing children, all while appearing to be calm under pressure. But what adds to this is he is likely to try to pull her into a deeply personal and obviously hurtful situation with her husband. And she's really in a catch-22 because on one hand, part of the rape culture in which he is operating is meant to blame women for the philandering of their husbands. The other side of it, of course, is if she had left him, she would have been blamed for that. So we know that this is a very difficult line that she has to walk. It is true that the election seems largely to be over, but at the same time, this is not without risk for Hillary Clinton. She really has to be able to step into this. She has to make a space for Republican refugees, and that's going to be a challenge. And she's got to, at the same time, really motivate the base, because this is really going to be about turnout, especially in areas that are undergoing vote repression.
Professor Crenshaw,
it's a major moment.
I wanted to go to a number of clips that are now coming out, and it seems that we're going to start hearing and watching a lot more. This is September 2004, an interview, when Donald Trump appeared on the Howard Stern show. Stern asked Trump if he can call his daughter Ivanka a piece of ass. Trump responded by saying, yeah.
Beautiful Ivanka.
By the way, your daughter.
She's beautiful.
Can I say this? A piece of ass.
Yeah.
Boy, I would back up the Brinks truck. Introduce me to her.
Who's going to win that?
2 years before, in 2002, Donald Trump appeared on the Howard Stern show and called 30 the perfect age for women. He described 35 as, quote, checkout time.
How old is Melania?
Melania is 30.
Wow.
Everybody's 30. What is it?
That's a good age. Howard, it's a great age for you and I.
It is. You know what? Think about it. Take your age. I don't know how old you are now. I'm 48. You put it in half, and then you subtract 7. I wouldn't be flying in helicopters, Howard, if I was you.
Yeah, it was always very embarrassing. Like, over the last couple of years, I go out with somebody, and she's like 21, and she's talking about, what are you doing? And she's studying algebra. And
so what?
And it's like, it was always embarrassing for me to walk in. It's too young. 30 is like a perfect age.
Absolutely. She has enough life experience.
Until she's 35.
Too much life experience.
What is it at 35, Howard? It's called checkout time.
In April of 2005, Donald Trump appeared on the Howard Stern show and was asked if he ever had sex with a Miss Universe or Miss USA contestant.
When you were single,
right?
You own this pageant. You go over. You're meeting the girls and stuff. One of them comes up to you and says, "Mr. Trump, you're a very sexy man.
You're a beautiful man. You have fantastic hair.
Well, you're a powerful man, right? Right? You're a powerful man.
Right.
I want to sleep with you." Now, you're not the type that would say no.
I don't want to hurt their feelings.
Right. No, but I mean, you see a beautiful woman, you want to have that. You're a guy who likes to have everything, right?
Well, couldn't that be construed, however, as
conflict?
Yes.
Well, I don't see it as a conflict.
It could be a conflict of interest, but it's the kind of thing you worry about later.
Oh, I see.
You tend to think about the conflict a little bit later on.
The question is, how can it not be construed?
No, I mean, some of these foreign girls, Mr. Trump, in my country, we say hello with vagina. And
well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else, and no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
like
everything is good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women, and so I sort of get away with things like that.
That's Donald Trump in 2005. Soraya Chumali, your response.
Well, again, I think this is well documented over years. He has an industry based on this treatment of women. And so, again, I come back to this idea of what is the source of this outrage. There really is literally nothing new. And some of it comes back to this idea of who do we trust, right? What we have now is a lot of men expressing outrage, a lot of conservative men expressing outrage. Women have been saying these things for a very long time. And even if they haven't been saying them out loud, they've been experiencing them. So I think a lot of this has to do, in a somewhat ironic way, with what they might call identity politics, because Donald Trump is exhibiting the ugliest, crassest, most predatory version of, or flip side rather, of benevolent sexism, right, of the paternalism that drives the bargain that many men that are conservative leaders have made. And that bargain is more or less, we will protect you, women, and in exchange for that, we get power. But if that protection is fraudulent, if that protection is this corrupt, if that protection is this predatory, then what does that say about the legitimacy of the power? And I don't think we can really overstate that because I think a lot of these responses have to do with a sense of shame based on this association now with Donald Trump and what the risk is to that core sense of power. Again, he's been saying these things and doing these things. He's been saying them unabashedly. And he's also said other horribly egregious and hateful things. He's xenophobic. He's racist. He cannot seem to tell the truth from one sentence to the next. And so, again, I think that this moment in time is almost a last gasp of panic. I mean, really, what are they supposed to do with this candidate? And what he's doing now by bringing women who have accused Bill Clinton into the room, which he's done in a press conference prior to this debate, is fall back on this idea that women belong in a different realm, that they compete among themselves in a world on their own, and that he, as a man, cannot directly compete as equals with a woman. I mean, he's not running against Bill Clinton. He's running against Hillary Clinton. But he can't seem to find a way in his worldview to do that in a palatable way.